Welcome to our channel, Psyverge. They walk among us. That's not paranoia. It's a psychological reality. Not all monsters hide in the dark. Some wear tailored suits. Some sit beside you at meetings. Some smile when they shake your hand. The most dangerous ones don't look dangerous. And that's precisely what makes them dangerous. Psychopathy isn't what movies told you it is. It's not always blood and knives and shallow graves. The psychopath isn't always a serial killer. Sometimes he's your CEO, your neighbor, your therapist, even your spouse. The idea that they're rare is comforting, but false. In reality, an estimated 1 in 100 people meet the clinical criteria, and many of them aren't in prisons. They're in boardrooms, in courtrooms, in politics, or quietly manipulating the people closest to them. What makes a psychopath so chilling is not just what they lack, but how well they hide it. They don't feel guilt the way most people do. They don't have empathy. They don't experience deep remorse. But they've learned how to fake it. Like actors on a stage, they mimic the emotional cues they don't truly experience. They learn the script, they master the timing, and they study human behavior not out of curiosity, but out of necessity. Because to get what they want, they need to blend in, and blending in is something they've perfected. In the 1940s, psychiatrist Hervey Cleckley coined the term, mask of sanity. It's a chilling phrase, because it doesn't just suggest deception, it suggests precision. These aren't chaotic or wild personalities. On the surface, they appear functional, successful, charming even. But behind that thin veneer of normality, there's a cold, calculating void, an emotional dead zone. Philosophers have long grappled with the idea of evil. Plato believed that evil was simply ignorance of the good. But the psychopath isn't ignorant. He often knows what's right. He just doesn't care. That's what makes him so dangerous. He can mimic morality without believing in it. He can learn the language of conscience without feeling its weight. He knows how to say the right things, do the right things, and mean none of it. This isn't just a disorder. It's a survival strategy. And it works. Psychopaths are masters of manipulation because they've spent their whole lives studying people like you. They know your facial expressions, your tone of voice, your insecurities. They exploit your kindness and mirror your emotions. They make you feel seen, heard, understood, until they no longer need you. Then they disappear. Or worse, they destroy you. And you never saw it coming. The tragedy is that society often rewards psychopathic traits. Ruthlessness gets misread as ambition. Charm gets mistaken for confidence. Risk-taking is applauded. Emotional detachment? That's seen as rationality. These traits don't just survive, they thrive. The very qualities that make psychopaths dangerous in private life often make them successful in public roles. Psychologist Kevin Dutton once argued that the same traits that define psychopaths, fearlessness, focus, emotional detachment, resilience, are also found in elite surgeons, special forces, and corporate leaders. That's not to say all high achievers are psychopaths, but it does suggest that society is structured in a way that can elevate those with psychopathic tendencies. And if you think you're too smart to be fooled, think again. Intelligence doesn't protect you from manipulation. In fact, it can make you more vulnerable. Smart people assume they can see through lies. That confidence can become a blind spot. Psychopaths don't just exploit emotions, they exploit egos. They make you feel like you're the smartest person in the room, all while wrapping a leash around your neck. What's terrifying is how normal they can seem, not just to strangers, but to those closest to them. Many people in long-term relationships with psychopaths don't realize it until years have passed, until the damage has already been done. That's because a psychopath doesn't show their real self all at once. They drip-feed it, slowly, strategically, until the version of you that entered the relationship no longer exists. You're a shell, and they're already looking for their next host. From a philosophical standpoint, psychopaths force us to question the very nature of morality. If someone can act moral but lack all internal moral compass, is morality just performance? Is empathy something you do, or something you feel? And if enough people in a society are just playing the part, what happens to the moral structure of that society? Nietzsche once said, "Whoever fights monsters should see to it that in the process, he does not become a monster." But the psychopath doesn't fight monsters. He becomes one, wearing the mask of a savior. Psychopathy isn't always violent. Sometimes it's subtle. It shows up in the friend who uses you, the partner who gaslights you, the boss who crushes your spirit while pretending to uplift you. They create chaos and then act like they're the solution. They poke holes in your boat and offer you a bucket. And still, people protect them. That's another brutal truth. Because they're so good at appearing normal, even benevolent, many victims end up doubting themselves. They internalize the blame. They defend the abuser. It's called trauma bonding, a psychological noose disguised as attachment. The more damage the psychopath does, the more tightly some people cling to them. That's not weakness. It's biology. Our brains are wired for connection. We want to believe people are good. That love means something, that apologies are sincere. But to a psychopath, every emotion you feel is just data, useful for exploitation, disposable when no longer effective. What happens when an entire system enables this behavior? When institutions prioritize image over integrity? When success is measured in power, not compassion? The psychopath doesn't need to break into society. He gets invited in, welcomed, promoted, admired, because he plays the game better than anyone else, precisely because he doesn't care about the rules. So how do you spot one? You can't always. But there are patterns, shallow emotions, an absence of long-term friendships, a history of exploiting others, inconsistent moral stances, grandiose self-perception, and most importantly, a sense that something just feels off. Not dramatic, just hollow. They often seem too perfect, too composed, too unfazed. They have no anxiety because they don't fear consequences the way others do. And if you challenge them, they won't reflect. They'll retaliate. Quietly, but effectively. You'll start losing support, losing trust, even questioning your own reality. The most damaging part of a psychopath's influence isn't the pain. It's the confusion. They rewrite your reality. They erase your ability to trust your own mind. And once that's gone, they don't even need to control you. You'll control yourself, based on the false narrative they implanted. This isn't about fear-mongering. It's about awareness. The mask of sanity isn't just a metaphor. It's a survival tool. And it works because most people can't imagine someone functioning without conscience. Most people don't know what it's like to fake empathy. Or manipulate trust like it's a game. That's the gap the psychopath exploits. Our belief that everyone has a soul. But some people don't. Not in the way we think. And the sooner we acknowledge that, the less power they have. Psychopathy forces us to confront uncomfortable truths. Not just about others, but about ourselves. About the lies we tolerate because they're wrapped in charisma. About the harm we excuse because it comes from someone we admire. About the way we look the other way when someone is too successful to question. To understand psychopaths is not to fear them. It's to take back the ground they walk on. It's to strip away the mask and see what's underneath. Not a monster with fangs, but a hollow shell with a smile. And the smile isn't for you, it's for the game. A game they play better than anyone else. Because they never cared whether they win or lose. Only that you never see them coming.